I'm going to reveal exactly what an online fitness coach's profit margins should actually be. I'm actually going to reveal my own when I was a fitness coach, and I'll also reveal my own right now, effective immediately, from a business mentor perspective. If you do not know me, I am Jack Rader. I'm the owner and founder of The Coaches Trainer. We help online fitness coaches like yourself build, grow, and scale. We don't need a big following. We don't need an excessive ad spend. We don't need to spam cold DMs. We do this properly, okay? You're going to have to excuse me because I've actually started this video and not taken a sip of coffee, so I'm going to take a sip of coffee in a second. Okay, so in terms of profit margins, okay, when you traditionally look at a business, okay, so like brick and mortar business, and I actually work with brick and mortar businesses, so I know exactly what they're going through. So let's just say, for example, let's just say a coffee shop, okay, their profit margins are anywhere between 20 to 30%, and that's a really healthy percentage as well. That basically means for every £100 that they get 20 or 30 quid, okay, and that's the reality of business, okay. If you're very new to business, you have to understand what profit margins actually are. You don't get the money that's on your Stripe account, okay? So like when you see I've made 10 grand in the month, that's not yours, okay? And that's not all yours anyway. Some of it's yours, of course. But I think one of the biggest reasons why I'm making this video is to make you aware, and to increase your awareness to cash flow, okay? Because I think it's one of the biggest reasons why most online coaches die, okay? Because if you don't have cash, you're not going to be able to reinvest. If you can't reinvest, you're pretty fucked, okay? So, yeah, I'll go through how to protect cash flow and how I personally protect cash flow as well. So when you're an online fitness coach, realistically, your profit margins should be anywhere between like 60 to 80%. Anything lower than that, I think you're spending way too much on things that don't grow the business, okay? Now, when you're first starting out, it's going to be closer towards like 80, 90, honestly, sometimes even 100%, okay? Because realistically, you could take payment via bank transfer, which I do not recommend. You could run off Google Sheets, which is free. You could run off the whole Google ecosystem, which is as free as you can get. Okay, and all the money comes in. You don't need like email marketing software at that point. Instagram is free, so you're advertising on Instagram. Like, you could effectively, if you want to hit maybe like your first 10 clients, you could probably do this with 100% profit margin, okay? But things to really consider, Stripe, which I love because it tracks LTV, it tracks churn rate, it tracks basically every business metric that I physically just can't be asked to track, right? I don't want to be on a Google Sheet tracking my churn every single month. I want to just see it on Stripe, okay? So you have things like Stripe fees, so payment processing fees, okay? You also have coaching costs, so software, okay? So you could go towards Kahunas, Trainerize, Everfit, MyPT Hub, something like that. So these are the apps that I typically recommend, especially when you're first starting out, especially when cash flow isn't necessarily like there. The reason why I personally think that apps are better than Sheets nowadays is because of retention. I have worked with hundreds of online coaches, and I find the coaches with Google Sheets identifying the retention is just way off. So I would 100% recommend an app software, okay, just to increase LTV. Nobody wants to be like tracking things on a Google Sheet anymore. It's too Excel look like. So I would recommend going towards an app, which obviously takes a cut, okay. You've also got like marketing costs, okay. So if you run things like paid ads, obviously that costs. If you hire, I suppose it's in delegation, I can't leave that. If you have like email software like MailChimp or Aweber or ClickFunnels or anything else like that, that's always going to take a fee as well. The reason why I'd recommend going on something like ClickFunnels or MailChimp is because you have a landing page ability or feature on that software. A lot of the email marketing sites nowadays, they have like an email marketing host, plus you have to pay something like lead pages, for example. So you're like double paying for the same thing. So I would 100%, if you're going into email marketing, I'd recommend just going towards something that you just get everything in. So yeah, unless you just need more data, like us as a business, we just need more data. So we use like lead pages, okay, which is basically our landing page software host, okay. But yeah, I guess like when you're first starting out, you just don't know profit margins at all. I'm just making you aware, like when you step into an online coaching business, like things are going to cost, like in any business, okay. But again, when you look at like, if you're comparing yourself to other businesses, okay, like coffee shop or barbers or whatever, your outgoings are fucking remarkably small, okay. So you are going to have to, like, you're not going to earn 100% of your earnings, right? That's not going to be yours. Taxman's going to take some for a start. But when you understand that, and when you understand, like, yeah, things are going to be exiting out of the business, like you have that business mindset, you don't have a 9-to-5 mindset, okay? Because a 9-to-5 mindset, and I had this because I was working 9-to-5. 9-to-5 mindset is money comes in, oh fuck, money's exiting, I need to cut, I need to like reduce what's coming out, okay? But that's not how business works, okay? Normally it's the other way. Normally it's like, I've got spare capital, where the fuck is this going, okay? Like if I have spare capital, I'm always looking into like, can I learn from someone else? Like could I potentially pay for a consultancy from someone that I highly respect? Like where can that cash flow actually run? Can I do some like ad tests, for example? So yeah, and then obviously you've got tax. Now at the start, I'm not a tax advisor, but at the start, obviously you're going to be paying less tax. As you come up, you're going to be running into things like VAT and corporation tax and stuff like that. So what I would do from the get-go is I would 100%, even if you have like 20 clients, I would 100% recommend go and get a accountant, because even though you're just starting out in business, having a decent accountant will save you so much of a headache, like an enormous amount of a headache, right? I don't know if that makes sense, but you'll have a headache if you do tax returns, okay? And also, if you get a decent accountant, they should let you know about tax positions and all that good stuff, okay? So you don't have to worry about all of these things. You'll actually physically get told what is my tax position at the end of the month, okay? So when I'm compiling Stripe fees and software fees and fucking everything else like that, like how much do I earn and how much of that is mine and how much do I have to pay for the tax man? If you know that and have clarity at the end of every single month, perfect, okay? You've also got the silent killers of profit margin as well. By the way, full transparency, I'm looking here because I've written a few notes, because I will 100% forget. I think it's an important video, so I've written a few things down, but I think silent killers is undercharging, okay? I think a lot of people don't recognize and don't realize that if you had 200 clients at £100 a month, you are in a really poor position, because you're spending all your time checking people in, communicating and stuff like that. But your money per hour worked is remarkably low. And when you take into consideration things like software and tax and stuff like that, there's genuinely no point in owning a business. And I've seen it so many times where a coach really, really, really undercharges. Genuinely, there is no point in them owning a business. And I will tell them as well, like, you need to charge more. Otherwise, just shut the business down. So that's kind of one thing. The other thing is like high churn. What if you want to start a business and you wanted to completely fuck everything, right? You wanted to be like, I want to start this business the wrong way, right? 1, don't get an accountant. 2, undercharge. 3, have incredibly high churn. That is like business suicide in a nutshell. That's like the worst thing in the world. You're not tax aware. You are undercharging for your coaching service, and you have to replenish everyone every 24 fucking seconds. That is no bueno. No good, okay? By the way, if you wanted to kill it in this game, you'd do the opposite. So you would not overcharge, but you would charge your worth, okay? You would have low churn, and you'd have a fucking accountant. Then you have to look at like so you have like the silent killers of profit margin and and all that good stuff. But I think when I talk about like charging, I think that a lot of online coaches are scared to charge more because they look around and they see like another coach charging X. So basically what happens is one coach charges this, and then because I'm not a good coach yet, I have to charge underneath them, which is not a way to charge anything. Like if every single business charges themselves like that, they're fucked, okay? Because what's going to happen is that person's going to charge like 200, and the next person's 175, and the next person's 150, and the next person's 125, 100, 75, and it's like a race to the bottom. No good. What if I told you that if you charge more, you're going to get better transformations? Because if I pay £200 a month, for example, do you think I'm going to stick to the plan? Yes. Do you think I'm going to check in with you? Yes. Do you think I'm going to communicate with you on WhatsApp or whatever? Yes. Do you think you're going to do that at like £75 a month or £100 a month? Fuck no, right? You'd actually find higher churn and poorer adherence when you charge less. When you have this like brainwave, if I charge more, I'm going to get better results, you'll be obsessed with wanting to charge more. Every single time I have charged more in my own business, I've got better results for my clients. Every single time, okay? And like if you have better results, they're going to stay with you for longer and they're going to recommend more people. So you're going to have more transformations, more adherence, and more referrals. So as a business model, this is why premium coaching or appropriate pricing can not only drive profit margins up and just revenue up, but also reputation as well, because you'll be known as the go-to person in your industry, okay? But yeah, that's kind of like the coaching costs. There's really not too much to it. You just have to be made aware that like, obviously when you get into like delegation, like you have to pay people. So like when you get to like 3 to 5 grand, you might hire a VA, a setter, a closer. That obviously comes off profit margins, okay? Even still, when you're that way inclined, I would still not operate under 50% profit margins. When I was a fitness coach and I was making about 80k a month, I was operating at about 60% profit margins. This business model is a lot more per month, but we operate at 50%. I will always try and sit at 50%. The reason for that is because from a cash flow perspective, you can be very aggressive in different areas, whether that's hiring, whether that's just testing with ads, okay? Again, just like reinvestment, okay? But I would genuinely try, as an online business like yourself, I would try and sit anywhere above 50%, no matter where you are in the scaling factor, okay? Again, if you're sub 5 grand a month, I would genuinely sit you about 70 to 80%. Like if you want the 70, 80% and you're earning that and you're sub 5, there's a lot of things you're doing wrong, probably undercharging though, okay? Or you just have pointless shit in the business, which you can obviously just now get rid of. If you're above that, yeah, like 50 to 70% is probably where you're going to be, okay? But don't be scared to reinvest in your business. Like one of the biggest things that I see as from working with hundreds of really fucking good coaches is the ones that are really good, the ones that are like shit hot in business, are the ones who always reinvest, and they're not scared to reinvest either, okay? And they know tax positions, so they know that if they pay for this, they will come off tax, okay? But yeah, if you cannot be asked to think about profit margins and how much to charge and anything else like that, I run a mentorship that is designed to help online fitness coaches not think about the business side and just get you to think about the coaching side, okay? If you want to apply for us, we have a link down below. You can book on a call with a member of our team, and if we can help, we will plug. If we can't help them, we won't do anything, okay?